SFL Nation. The last game of Week 9 on this Saturday evening brings us to Mount Olympus Stadium, where the 2-3 Washington Trident take on the 1-4 Carolina Skyhawks. Both teams looking to get a much-needed win here this week in this Week 9 action. Alongside myself in the booth, Brett Killian, my Streets of Talking partner. In the stats truck, we got Doobie-Doo and Dwayne up there in Washington. Hope it's shipped down for his squad up here tonight. Yo, Brett, what are the keys to victory you think are for these two teams?
Well, let's just put it this way here, Eddie. Both these teams are looking for a win. These seasons have not come to where they want it to be. Carolina at 1-4, their offense the most anemic that we've seen it so far this season. Then Washington just a little bit behind the 8 ball, but has started to turn things around with a pretty dominant win against Fort Worth. For Carolina, they just need to get the offense going. They are dead last in points scored. They need to get points on the board. But for Washington, their bread and butter is the pass defense. If they can limit Bryant Dynasty, they're going to cruise on a way to a victory.
Carolina has won the toss and elected to kick it. Ball's placed at the 30-yard line. Let's kick it, SFL Nation. The ball is off the tee and underway. Received by Carolina, coming out of the backfield, out to about the 26-yard line. Is this Carolina offense? Let's go ahead and announce just who those players are. At quarterback, Bryant Dynasty. In the backfield with him, toting the rock, is Raleigh Quintero and Ike McBride, along with fullback Hattori Hanzo. Wide receivers, Nolan Pierce, Chase Earl, Adam Banks, and Chris Curtis. We get to the rest of that lineup up in a minute. And here they are, Brett, coming out in first down, and they're empty. I guess they had a plan to pass the football tonight.
Yeah, and they need to, because Bryant Dynasty, 5 games through, has only passed the ball 82 times.
Quick 3-step drop, safe. The defense gets the ball out quick to his man, wide open on the right sideline for a pickup of about 7 yards. Great catch by Chase Earl.
Yeah, and get this here, Eddie. The leading receiver in terms of catches, tied with Chase Earl, is Chris Curtis. Both have 9 receptions. That leads the team.
Wow. Our Joker set 2 tight ends on the field. What a complex here. Now they're going empty. They're going to come out here and pick up the first down, while Quintero picks up about 4 yards.
Yeah, and what Carolina does well, and they've done this through the last couple of seasons, almost through their entire 4K23 era, is going with that run game. So maybe if they start with the pass game, that run game's going to open up for them too.
Gonna go empty again, Brett. This time's gonna be a 5-step drop. Gets the ball out quick, but the rush made him throw the ball before he wanted to. That's gonna be an incomplete pass, unable to find his receiver out there in the outfield, Ike McBride.
Yeah, and McBride, you know, is that capable dual threat running back. Not only can run the football, but she can catch that football too. So she's got to have those hands ready.
Triple set here on second down and 10. 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Gonna be a 5-step drop and out, and that ball is deflected and almost intercepted there. What a great athletic move there by Tina Begin.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't expect that from defensive linemen, especially in this style of defense that we see from Washington. You see that sometimes with their linebacking core, especially with Nicholas Warner, who's probably the star of that defense, but sometimes Tina Begin can just step up and almost get that interception off the deflection.
Trip set, gonna send a man in motion. That's Chase Earl. Washington gonna counter with a 4-1 defense plan down. They're gonna blitz the middle linebacker, get the ball out, and that ball is intercepted. Wow, I'm not sure what quite there Bryant Dynasty saw, but that receiver was never open.
Yeah, Mark Kaufman gets credit to the interception there, but I got to give credit to Kappa Jones as well, who was on a little bit of coverage behind there too. Could have been either or,
yeah.
But Bryant Dynasty, just not an ill-advised throw, and we've seen that a couple times this season. That's now his 7th interception this season. He's got to keep that clean if Carolina's going to have any success tonight.
Washington's going to get great starting field position after that turnover, starting out on their own 39-yard line. Going to come out with a spread look. 3 receivers, a tight end, and a fullback along with a back in the backfield. Going to send a fullback in motion. Going to run it out to that weak side for a pickup of about 3 yards. Let's go over that Washington Trident offense. You got quarterback Tommy Utah. Tailbacks Dwayne Savage, the big free agent pickup, along with Christopher Dean, and the fullback is Julian Gusters. Wide receivers King Alexander, Johan Sutherland, Terrell Cooper, and Shane Kaufman, along with a 5th wide receiver, Phil Koss, converted tailback. tight end, Azami Mahada, and we get to that offensive line after this play. Our Joker said going to get the ball out to the weak side, but going to pick up absolutely nothing. Christopher Dean stopped right there in the scrimmage.
Yeah, and Carolina's got good run defense as well, so you got to be careful with that. Go with the offensive line here, Eddie.
Dakota Butts, who's also doing stats here tonight. Scott Pancake, Bill McMillan, Phil McMillan, and Charles Michael, the center. Watson's got to go empty now. 5-step drop, serves the defense all day to throw, and finds a receiver deep down the sideline. Going to be tackled at about the 29-yard line. Great pitching there, Phil Koss on the reception.
And what Tommy Utah does good with his passing game is that he doesn't look for one specific receiver. He looks for all his guys. Mahada does lead the team with 26 receptions, but guys like Kaufman, Koss, Cooper, Johan Sutherland, they all get involved in that offense some way, somehow. There's not one guy that stands out each and every game. It's a different guy each time.
Picking up some tough yardage there. Gonna call it a gain of 5. The big free agent acquisition from Denver picks up 5.
Yeah, and both these offenses really struggling with trying to get consistent running from their starting running backs. We talked about Riley Quintero. He's at 3.3 yards per carry right now. Dwayne Salmon's coming into this game just 3.1 yards per carry. He's got to get that number up tonight.
Our Jokers looks like man-to-man defense here by Carolina. Gonna hand this ball off to the weak side and off to his right. Great blocking downfield. Picks up 4 yards. Gonna set up a 3rd down and 1.
And Chris Dean is a really good power back for this Washington squad. Dwayne Salmons is kind of your jack of all trades, but if you need those tough yardages, you need those tough gains, you go to Chris Dean, and that was a good game.
3rd and 1, Chris Dean on the sideline. Let's see if they can pick it up without him. Gonna be an odd Joker set, gonna hand the ball off, gonna pick up that 1st down, a couple more yards. Dwayne Salmons gets inside the SFL red zone. 1st down, Washington.
Yeah, and this is what Washington likes to do. Once they set you up with that pass game, that run game comes into effect afterwards as well. And this is where Dwayne Salmons can be dangerous for them.
Split pro. First time we've seen this look tonight. Split flip pro, I think it is. Wow, that's interesting to see. Gonna send a tight end in motion. Reading the defense. Gonna roll it out to his strong side. Flip the ball out back to the weak side. That ball is complete. Great catch there by Mahada there. Throwing the ball across his body.
And we see that a lot with SFL offenses, is that they'll roll over to one side and they'll pass the opposite direction. And it's more so to misdirect that defense. And there's another great play from Washington here to get the 9-yard gain.
Strong odd Joker set here, 2 tight on the field, gonna hand this ball off, and there's absolutely no. Oh, they're gonna give him the 1st down. I'm not sure about that spot, Brett.
Yeah, if I'm the coaching staff for Carolina, I'm looking right at Harish Prasad, the offensive coordinator, and Mojo McClain, the head coach and defense coordinator. I'm looking at throwing that flag early on, but they're gonna keep it just because it's early in this game.
I don't know, Brett. I would have set up a 3rd down. I might have thrown the flag out there. Nonetheless, split Joker's gonna send Mahada in motion to the far side of the field there, giving some more grass for the defense to cover. Gonna drop back, throw the ball out to the flat, and it goes absolutely nowhere. Carolina read that play like a book. Great defense there by Carolina.
Yeah, and what was interesting on that formation, Eddie, is that they had Mahada as the wide receiver. He's naturally a tight end in this situation, but they used him as almost as a misdirection to try to go with that screen pass, and Carolina, like you said, read it like a book.
Our Twins said, I'm going to bring the blitz, get the ball out quick, and nonetheless, Tommy Utah able to find Mahada across the middle, going to set up a 3rd down and goal at about the 1.5-yard line.
Yeah, and now Carolina has to be, recognizing that it's probably going to be a run play here on this 3rd down. It's right at the 1-yard line. This is what Washington likes to do in these scenarios.
Weak Joker set, 2 tight ends on the field. Gonna drop back and hand this ball off, and Salmons is gonna walk into the end zone for a touchdown. Washington turning turnovers into points.
Yeah, and that was big for Washington to really start off on this drive. Carolina got the first chance, but Washington's defense stood tall, got themselves a turnover with a great interception from their corner, and then they just drove down the field. They did what they did best, 61 yards down the field, get 6 points. This is going to be a long game if Carolina continues to allow big plays like they have on this drive.
I totally agree. Anytime you can get turnovers, it's one thing, but we can turn those turnovers into points. I mean, you just rolling on all cylinders on both offense and defense. Nonetheless, Washington takes a 7-0 lead here early on, Brett.
Yeah, and like I said, you want to have that early advantage, especially when you're at home, because it gives you not only that confidence boost, but then you can kind of calm your senses a little bit more, and you can say to yourself, okay, we've got a handle with this game. We're on home turf. We're up in this game early. Let's put the pedal to the metal and make sure we keep this lead for the rest of the game.
Carolina going to bring this ball out. Going to get tackled at about the 29-yard line. They're going to call it. Colin Pierce with the return here. Going to set up first down and 10, Carolina. What do you think Carolina should do to try to, get more consistent offense? They just been struggling all season long, Brett.
Well, they need to find what Bryant Dynasty does best in the pass game. And it just feels like they're starting to get that pass game going. Like, as you remember, first couple weeks of the season, I don't think Bryant Dynasty threw more than a dozen times in 2 games. And then all of a sudden, now they're starting to pick it up. But they've got to find those hot spots for a talented set of receivers that they have.
Triple set going to be a strong power out to the near side of the field. Going to call it a gain of about 2 yards. Wally Quintero with the carry.
Yeah, and another interesting stat here, just 4 total offensive touchdowns through 5 games for Carolina. 1 passing, 3 rushing touchdowns. The run game has been fine for them. Like I said, like the thing I've harped all this season so far, pick up the pass game.
Going to be a weak power out to this near side of the field. Great job with about a right guard to pick up 7 yards. Going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, and very interesting scenario. 3rd and 2, you could go with a pass play, but I wouldn't fault Carolina if they wanted to go 3 straight runs just to test out Washington's run defense tonight. Joker
set with the wide receiver out to Bryant Dynasty left. Another power play, this time out to the weak side, but unable to pick up the first down. 4th and 1. Carolina's offense just not doing them any favors this season here.
Yeah, and again, punting this football away, you see it often enough with Carolina, and it just feels like it's a broken record so far this season, where we see Malone Brown punting the football away to the opposition.
This is going to be his 31st punt on the season, leads the entire SFL in punts. Not a stat you want to lead the SFL in. Nonetheless, great punt coverage here by the special teams unit. Going to set up a first down for Washington.
And then going back to that Carolina defense, you had Washington easily move down the field to get 7 points on the board. Now you need to basically return basically a minute after you allowed those 7 points and really try to hunker things down, stop Washington, and potentially stop the bleeding.
Our spread look here. Washington going to hand this ball off to Sammons, who's going to try to pick his way around traffic. Nothing doing. They're going to call it a gain of a yard. And I'm not sure what these side judges are seeing so far tonight, Brett, but we've been seeing some bad spots.
Yeah, we saw that first and goal that really wasn't first and goal, and now they gave him a yard on what was basically a net 0 game.
Split pro looks like cover 2. Going to get the ball out, and Mahada unable to reel that pass in wide open. Can't miss those.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're a wide open receiver, you kind of overthink it before it hits your hands. And I think that's what Mahada did, is that he just overthought how he was going to catch that football, and it just a Butterfingers moment.
Trips look here by Washington, 3rd down and 9 at their own 28-yard line. Going to be a play fake. Surveys, get the ball out and finds an open receiver, but unable to hang on to it. It's a bang play. I mean, you can't really necessarily fault the receiver on that play. Field cost, that was a tough hit.
And you can't blame Utah for slinging that ball to Koss as well, because he was the open man on that right side. It just happened to have a picture-perfect hit that jarred the ball loose. Didn't even have enough possession of that football to consider it a catch. So great work from Carolina to really change things defensively.
Going to get this punt out way as being fair, caught at the 30-yard line by Carolina. Trying to get something going with their offense here on this 3rd drive of the game for them. Look at that statue out there. That thing is intimidating, Brett.
No, I don't think that's a statue. I think that's literally Poseidon looking over us right now. I don't know how Washington does it, but they summon the spirit of Poseidon, and he just has you looking over, and it intimidates the opponent.
I tell you, I spread look here, going to send a receiver in motion to the near side of the field. Going to hand the ball off on a weak ISO for a game of about a yard. Washington's defense have come here to place here so far early on.
And I think they know that Carolina loves to run that football regardless of what that score line is. So I think the Skyhawk offense needs to start picking it up, especially in the air.
Nickel defense out here. 5-step drop, gets the ball out very quick and finds a receiver wide open. Along, it's just inside the numbers here. Going to be a first down, Carolina. Great pitch and catch there. Chris Curtis with the reception.
Yeah, and sometimes you just got to get that ball out as quickly as you see that man open. And Curtis is going to be that guy. And he has been for many seasons in a Carolina uniform, where if you need to get those yards, doesn't matter if it's first, second, third, or fourth down, he will be that Mr. Reliable for the Skyhawk offense.
Carolina's own 48-yard line is where this set of down starts here for Brian Dynasty, and this offense doubles look. 3 wide receivers and a tight end off to his left. Going to be a power play this time off to the far side field, and nothing doing. Washington starting to get a feel for those power run game that they consider out here trying to run.
Yeah, and it feels like Washington is probably one of the better teams out there this season that has defended the stretch runs really well through the first 5-6 games of the season.
Going to go empty here on second down 11. 5 wide receivers, no back in the backfield. Got to get the ball out quick, as you have no back there to protect Brian Dynasty. Going to be a 5-step drop, looking around, finds a receiver, hits him for got a gain of about 5 yards. Going to set up a third down and 5.
And those short gains on passing plays as well boosts that confidence in the quarterback too, especially one who hasn't really had a lot of airtime in terms of passing the football this season. So you get more of those, it helps out your quarterback.
Single safety had to be a cover 3 look, going down the field and finds his running back down the middle of the field. Roddy can tell for a first down.
And Washington can't forget that Quintero was a wide receiver at one point, and he converted into running back. So he still has the capable hands if they need to, especially on empty sets, which Carolina has started to adopt, which a lot of teams in the SFL have started to adopt through this season.
You want to attack teams that like to play single safety high, like we just did with that cover 3 look there, run vertical routes, and it's hard to defend all of those here. That's going to be the end of the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. 7-0 lead. Going to start this second quarter. Look at that beautiful night sky out here in Washington. I've been up there a few times myself, Brett. Washington is a beautiful state.
I couldn't say myself, considering that I've lived in Canada most of my life. I've only been to a couple states, so I'll take your word for it.
Doubles look here for Carolina. Going to send Chase Earl.
Ready.
That's right. Chase Earl in motion. Now he's going to hand this ball off again. Love this power set, and this time Carolina is going to pick up about 8 yards. Second down and 2. And I tell you, these referees are very generous with the spots tonight.
I'm with you on that play. You were basically calling it right as it was going. You love that play, and I did too, because they shift the receiver in motion to the same side that Quintero was running, which kind of aided the run as well. So that gave them that generous 8-yard run.
Yeah, our Joker's looking to pick up the first down there. Ike McBride on the carry, free agent acquisition from Vancouver, picks up the first.
Yeah, and McBride is getting the opportunity that, she didn't see too much of with Vancouver last season. She's getting those carries. She's got 53 coming into this game. She's very much a part of that Carolina run game.
Empty look on 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. I always cringe anytime I see Ashley ignore the signals from the sidelines and come out in empty. 5-step drop, gonna throw the ball right in the middle and call for the touchdown. Carolina strikes back. Chris Curry is right down the seam, catches it to bring Carolina within 1.
I gave credit to Kappa Jones on aiding in that interception, but this time he gets absolutely, it wasn't a jump play of any sort, but I would still consider that a mossing from Chris Curtis that just had his hands in front of Kappa's and said, nope, this one is mine. I'm going to get Carolina back in this game. I'm going to get this pass game back in action and get Carolina back in action.
You saw there on the replay, Kappa Jones had an opportunity to pick that ball off, but I think the speed of the throw caught him off guard. 7-all game here in in Washington here early in the second quarter. So the ball is on the tee and kicking it off back to Washington, looking to respond after that touchdown, bringing the ball out from about the 1-yard line, fighting through traffic out to about the 27-yard line. It's field costs. First down and 10. These two teams need a win here today, Brett. Washington only lost 2 games all of last season. They find themselves on a losing end 3 times already here midway through the season. Carolina, they won 4 games, won the East, but yet, they won 8 games last season, went going 8-4, and they've already lost that amount of games here early on this season. And just as we expected, we got a tight ball game.
Yeah, and Washington has a prime opportunity to get themselves possibly within the next couple weeks, knocking on Vancouver's door, especially with Arizona getting a close loss to Albuquerque.
That's right. I spread look here and wide open down the near sideline for a first down. Cooper. I know him very well as he torched us last season, week 1.
And Terrell Cooper, he's got the credentials as, an all-pro wide receiver, and definitely one of those guys that, further down the line, if he continues, building up that resume, he could be in the Hall of Fame conversation. So that guy, you've got to be careful at any point.
Split twins versus a 4-3 man defense. Gonna send a man in motion out here to the near side. That's Johan Sutherland. Gonna hand this ball off right up the A gap and picks up a tough 7 yards. Great blocking there by his interior O-lineman to pick up 7.
Yeah, I love the bruising play that Chris Dean brings to the Trident offense, because there's a lot of pretty plays that you see from Washington sometimes, and then Dean comes in with that grit and grind and he'll get you that 6, 7, 8 yards.
A lot of man defense here for Carolina, and it pays off for them this time. They tried to hit the A gap again, but I almost said Reese Prasad, but his brother makes the tackle, Shravan Prasad. Recently married, by the way.
Yeah, congratulations to him. Now he's locked up and I can't flirt with him on DMs anymore, so
4-3 defense, 3rd down and 3. Washington trying to keep this offense on the field. Going to be a quick 5-step drop. Surveys, looking, still looking, gets the ball out, and great defense there by Carolina to stifle that play and force a punt.
I'll be honest with you, Eddie. I'm a little bit surprised that Utah didn't go out and scramble for it, because it's 3 yards, but he trusted in his receivers and it just didn't pan out. And it's one of those things where it's going to be a what-if situation, especially when you get to close games like this. He's just got to shrug it off and then get back to the next drive.
Punt is out and underway, and great punt. Is that inside? They're going to rule it a touchback. Nope. Oh, that was almost a great punt there by Washington. Nonetheless, going to be first down at the 20-yard line here for Carolina.
Yeah, and Utrecht Rugen has done that before. I think he already did that this season, where he's pinned a team inside the 2-yard line. So he's one of the best punters in terms of coffin corners, almost a grip style kind of with the punts.
Gonna go empty on first down and finds his receiver across the middle of the field for a pick of about 8 yards, 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, and one of the best names in the SFL, Gibson Rickenbacker, with the catch there. Almost, I know it's a reference in terms of guitars, but I can't stop thinking of that popcorn company, Orville Redenbacher, when I see that name.
Al Jones, another power play, this time to the strong side of the field. Nothing doing as Nathaniel Diggs had to read all over that one. He's got tired of reading that book, and he gets up and makes a play, and set up a 3rd down and 2.
And Washington's linebackers, so good. I could give the praises of Nicholas Warner this season, but you cannot forget about Nathaniel Diggs, who has done just as well for the Washington linebacking corps.
Former Scorpion out here, making an impact. 3rd down and 2. Can he and his defense do it again? They're going to go up the gut this time, get slowed up by his own lineman, and unable to pick up the first down. Nicholas Warner with the stop.
And now we're starting to see both these defenses really shining in the second quarter, because you're seeing, the key adjustments that Carolina did to add more man plays to stop the run and forced Washington into punting this down. And then Washington is doing well and starting to shut down the Carolina pass game, which has come a little bit alive in this first half.
Sometimes you have to learn when to call for a fair catch, because Carolina did a great job of getting downfield, and should they want to extend the life of that receiver field cost, he's going to have to learn how to take a fair catch. Nonetheless, it's going to be first down at their own 36-yard line. Tommy Utah coming out here with an eye spread look, surveying this 4-2 nickel defense. Looks like going to be man again. Going to hand this ball off to his tailback, and nothing doing as Carolina heats him to the point. Going to be a gain of nothing, setting up second down and 10.
And now it's going to be, what does Washington do as a counter to what Carolina's already adjusted defensively that's going to get you moving forward?
Going to be a delayed blitz. Oh, that ball is almost hauled in, but it's broken up by Carolina. Great job there by Tristan Hadley.
Yeah, and Carolina has some great mainstays in their secondary that has played for them for such a long time. Tristan Hadley, T.D. Jack, Davidson Joseph, Mike Ryan, Skippy Curtis, and now adding in Rochelle Colston this season from L.A. You'd think that this would be a fantastic defensive squad, and so far they have been.
Third down, going to be a rollout here versus this 4-1 defense. And almost a great catch there, but great defense. Bang, bang play. Washington, that was almost a great catch by King Alexander.
Honestly, great play call from both these teams. That was the right call to make if I'm Washington, and it was a good defensive counter if I was Carolina. Good look trying to find King Alexander deep. He hasn't had a lot of catches. In fact, he's only had one catch so far this season, but that's the look you want to get to him to try to get him going this season.
Punt is underway, brought down at the 15-yard line. Oh, great block. It's outside the numbers and brought down at about the 35-yard line. Great return there by Nolan Pierce.
Yeah, and Pierce, we saw it last season in his rookie campaign that he could break out and get those kick return or punt return touchdowns. So he is a dangerous man on his feet on the return. And I think Carolina, it was a wise choice to pick him number 1 overall in the draft, and he's paid dividends to this Carolina franchise.
Paying dividends tonight as well. Eye spread look, we've seen that look out of both teams here tonight. Ryan Dynasty going to hand his ball off right at the A gap. And nothing doing. Washington all over this run game for Carolina here.
Man, that was a huge hit from King McNeely, and there's a few teams that really utilize their defensive linemen well. One of them is Detroit. The other, I would say, is Washington.
Going to go empty here again on second down. Going to go right down the field and miss his target. Oh, Brett, I think if he just takes a moment to relax and put some air into that ball, he is walking to the end zone right about now.
Eddie, that is probably a clear case of the 1-4 jitters that Ryan Dynasty has right now, because he was a wide open guy and he's so eager to get it to him, but he just puts a little bit too much mustard on it.
Too much and not enough air. Trips look, going to survey the field, get the ball out, but he's hit as he throws, and unfortunately for this Carolina offense, not sure what happened there, but unfortunately Carolina's going to punt this ball right back to Washington. Both defenses played well in this second quarter.
And now here, Eddie, this is the big part that Washington's made an adjustment of. They're starting to bring the heat to Dynasty, which we didn't see in that first quarter. It was McNeely on the run stop, and now Nicholas Warner's starting to get to Dynasty.
Malone Brown playing kicker and punter duties here tonight. Going to get this ball out. Great punt, and Carolina swarms field cost. Not much of a return there. They're going to get this ball at their own 31-yard line. 4:34 left in the half. Can Washington put a drive together to get some separation from Carolina heading to the half?
And let's be honest, Eddie, this is a game that I would say if you're a defensive enjoyer, you're liking what you're seeing so far, because the adjustments have already been made for these two teams, and they've adjusted really well.
Flip pro, I think this lineup is here. Seen it a couple times here tonight. Going to be a power run out to the right side. Oh, my goodness. Someone call that man's family as Dwayne Salmons just ran him. I'm not going to say his name, Brett, but just ran a man over, picks up 9.
And it's time to put in a missing persons report because I think that guy just went to the shadow realm and we may not see him for the rest of the game afterwards. But geez, Louise. I talk about how Chris Dean is a power back. Dwayne Salmons, he's got the shoulders.
Oh. Man-to-man defense again, but this time Washington starting to get some momentum going, able to fight forward and pick up that first down despite being hit in the backfield was Christopher Dean.
Yeah, and Dean said, I don't care if you're 4-time All-Star Danny Stinson. I'm going to get those yards. I'm going to get that first down.
Nickel look, countering this I spread look, seen it from both teams here tonight. Going to be a weak outside zone, makes a man miss and picks up 6.
Yeah, it was great running from Salmons to find the open hole on the outside and then kind of just maneuver his way around. He wasn't going to get that first down, but he was going to make the most out of it, and he got 6 yards.
Anytime you can stay ahead of the chains, Brett, it's key. Here trying to keep your offense on the field. Our Jokers look 2nd down and 4. Going to be an ISO play right up the A gap and stop just short of the first down marker. 3rd down and 1. Ray Colston with the stop.
Yeah, and these 3rd downs are starting to become more critical as the game continues on, and both these teams want to get those conversions at a high rate. Both these teams clicking in, coming into this game just 37% on 3rd downs. They're both tied in that number.
3rd down and 1, split Jokers look, gonna hand the ball off right at the A gap and gonna pick up the first down is Dwayne Salmons, along with about 4 more. This Washington run game is starting to put things together.
Yeah, and it looks like this Washington offense is really content with using as much time left in this half to make sure that they get themselves into scoring position and going to halftime with the lead.
Bunch left, going to be a toss out to the weak side. Carolina converging in a ball care, but it does not matter as he's still able to pick up 6 yards and to set up a 2nd down and 4. Christopher Dean, this run game is starting to get going, Brett.
Yeah, and I say this every game that I see it. If you can get your running backs on that 4, 5, 6 yard comfort zone, it's going to be happy faces you're going to see from the offensive coaching staff.
Zone look this time from Carolina. Going to be a run out to the left side, outside the left tackle. Nothing doing. Picks up about 2 yards before being stopped. Danny Stinson with the tackle. Going to set up 3rd and 2. 2-minute warning here in Washington, you guys. Fast-moving game here so far, Brett.
Yeah, and it's good to have sometimes these fast-paced games because, you know, we've had a lot of games already this week that have really dragged on, whether it be a close game or a blowout.
Man defense yet again. Our Jokers look. Gonna send a man in motion. That's Mahata.
Watch for that ISO play.
Gonna be a power play out to the weak side. They're gonna come up short. Brett, 4th down and 1. Now, here's decision time, Brett. Do they go for it? Because I'm not sure if they're quite inside range, and it looks like they are going to punt.
Yeah.
It's
not enough for James Troll, so they're going to trust in Rugen to get them inside the 5.
Wow. Decisions, Brett. And can they do it? Oh, punted just a bit too far. Going to be marked down at the 20. It's a touchback. Going to be placed at the 20-yard line. Great effort nonetheless.
And like I said earlier, Eddie, Marcus Agrippa-like is Ultrek Rugen, but he's not quite Marcus Agrippa quite yet.
Agrippa been in the league for a long time for those Florida Storm. Seems like he's in the All-Star game every year. Empty here on 1st down. Backfield. Going to send a man in motion to the far side of the field. That's Nolan Pierce. 5-step drop, nice pocket, gets the ball downfield. There's a bang play. Nolan Pierce unable to hang on to it. Nicholas Warner with the stop.
Yeah, and Warner kind of dropped off on a mid-cover down the middle instead of going for the pass pursuit, which kind of helped because Nolan Pierce was going on what looked to be a post route that was going to go down the middle of the field. So it was great work from Warner to stay with that man.
Empty again. This time they bring the blitz and they, it's another bang play as back-to-back hits as the receivers were trying to handle the ball. This time it's Adam Banks unable to hold on to it.
Yeah, Mark Kaufman with the hit, who has already had the interception earlier in this game. And right now, Washington is bringing the heat and the thunder.
Gonna go empty again. 3 straight plays. Wow. Gonna send a man in motion. Chase Earl this time.
Is this straight open or empty open?
Gonna drop back. Great protection. Trying to break down. And another bang play. Chase Earl unable to hold on to it. And 3 straight hits by these DBs of Washington gets Carolina's offense off the field.
And it's not the same guy every time, Eddie. This time it was Maxwell Quimby with the hit on Chase Earl, which just makes it that much difficult because Dynasty's throwing it to the right guys. It's just bang plays that jars the ball loose.
Max Quimby, 6'3", 225, put all of his weight behind that hit. Punt nearly blocked, but it's going to be fair caught just short of midfield, marked down at the 46-yard line. So now Washington, 1:15 left to play in this first half. All 3 timeouts. Time should not be a factor. Can they put up points here with this great field position to close the half, Brett?
Yeah, and give credit where credit is due. Washington's defense only allowed Carolina on the field for about 20 seconds. And now Washington with a prime opportunity to get some points. And like I said earlier, try to get the lead before halftime hits.
King Alexander's going to go in motion to the far side of the field. Going to be a rollout. Simons with a great block. And Mahada comes up with the reception and timeout Washington.
Yeah, and now here comes the timeouts, and this is going to be expertly called by, if I'm not mistaken, by Robert Thump, who knows that they're going to get close to prime field position. They want to use as much time on the clock as possible. Don't go into this hurry up.
Doubles look, 3 receivers in the tight end, along with a back in the backfield versus this 4-2 nickel defense. Ball at the 40-yard line. Tommy Utah with a great drop. Oh, my goodness. Couldn't even get it out, Brett. Ran a 9 route right down the middle of the field, but I thought I was going to get there before the safety could get over. But great job in pursuit to knock that ball away was Mike Ryan.
And Mike Ryan looking to get his 50th interception of his career and maybe got himself the case of the Butterfingers, who's in the right place at the right time, just couldn't get his hands on it.
Washington's going to go empty this time, Brett. Going to send a man in motion. That's King Alexander.
Looks like Carolina's in a zone.
They are 4-1 dime. Looks like quarters coverage. Cover 2 look, and they're going to find Cooper. Second time tonight he's caught that pass on a skinny post. Going to call their second time out here. Now as they are inside of field goal range, the ball is spotted at about the 26-yard line.
And what's working on that inside skinny post is that Cooper's getting front side position on his man, so it makes Utah's life so much easier just to toss it to him instead of trying to get a contested throw.
Bunch left versus this 4-2 nickel defense. Going to be a rollout to the near side of the field. And great catch there by Mahada. They're going to try to save that timeout for the kicker in case they need it.
Sticking this
Tommy Utah, 5-step drop. Time running out, gets the ball out, and that ball is unable to be caught. First of all, oh my goodness, but a lot to unpack there. The pocket was starting to collapse on Tommy Utah, but he kept his eyes downfield, looking for a receiver. There was Johan Sutherland, who he tried to hit there, but unfortunately for him, unable to bring it in.
Yeah, and I thought Phil Hall was going to get to Utah, but Tommy found a way to just get the ball off before he even got touched.
Doubles look here, going to send a man in motion. This time it's Cooper down to the near side of the field. Tommy Utah, quick 5-step drop, gets the ball out quick and finds his man, but unable to hold on to it. Tristan Hatley with the deflection.
Yeah, and Hatley has done that twice now, where he's, really played some key coverage. And again, it's on Sutherland, which seems to be his main competition for this game. And again, jars that ball loose, prevents a touchdown. And now Washington with one more opportunity before they have to think about a field goal.
I don't know if you saw it, Brett, but he was mugging Sutherland as he was running that route. I'm surprised they didn't call pass interference. Nonetheless, Quaz look here out of Washington. Inside the 10 here. Carolina's going to counter with a 4-2 nickel. Going to be a man-to-man defense. Hat on a hat. They're going to bring pressure. Tommy Utah gets the ball out. That ball is nearly intercepted. That might have been a house call had he been able to hold on to it, Brett. But nonetheless, Skippy Curtis gets her defense off the field.
Yeah, and we'll watch the replay here, and again, it feels like there's just been some bad juju in terms of Carolina's secondary, because that's probably the third or fourth time we've said almost an interception, and it's out of their hands, and like right place, right time. Just maybe open up those hands a little bit more, and maybe steer away from the red gloves.
James Trout, 235-pound kicker. How many of those have you seen in the SFL? My goodness. But nonetheless, this ball is up and right down the middle. 35 seconds of the ball game left in this first half, and Washington retakes the lead.
Remember when Carolina had a 300-pound kicker back in the 2K8 era? Those were the days, because we had ourselves some big boy kickers.
I used to wonder how he got his foot up above his head on those. Oh, my goodness. 35 seconds remaining in this first half. Going to kick this ball off. Going to be fielded right at the 1-yard line. Going to be returned. And there's a flag down the play. This one might be coming back.
Yeah, it could be a clip, and then Carolina's going to have to start these last 31 seconds deep down the field.
Yep, a push in the back. Never good. Wow. Nolan Pierce draws the flag. Here on the replay, and I'm not sure that's a frustration foul. Didn't even need him as he was already by him.
Yeah, at that point, I think Pierce was like, I don't know what to do. I usually return these kicks. It's usually not Adam Banks, and now what do I have to do? I'll just get to the next guy.
That sign out there said, where your body and spirit will be tested, and tested it is here tonight. Carolina in a close contest. Gonna go empty here on the 12-yard line. Got to be careful with the football if you're Brian Dynasty in this offense.
Yeah, if I'm Washington, I'm looking for that deep ball.
Yeah, gonna send a man in motion. That's Chris Curtis. Cover 3 look, gonna get the ball down the seam and unable to hit his receiver. Wow, that'd have been a good catch there for Adam Banks, but tight coverage by Washington. Their secondary has been locked down here in the second quarter.
Yeah, you know who's been locked down all season? Adam Banks. He's only had 4 catches this season, and he's 0 of 3 in terms of targets tonight.
Not a good look here. Going to go empty again. Got to be careful here deep in your own end. Going to be a 5-step drop. Pocket starting to collapse, and he's hit as he throws, looking for his tight end, but unfortunately unable to bring the ball in.
Second time in the last 5 minutes that we've seen Dynasty hit as he throws, and there's just an absolute duck being thrown right down the middle and nobody around to get to it.
Trips looks like going to be quarters coverage here. 5-step drop, gets the ball out, and this time Adam Banks does reel the ball in. And I'll tell you what, Brett, that is an important catch, because if he does not reel that ball in for a first down, Carolina's going to be punting this ball away, and Washington wouldn't have the opportunity for another quick score.
Yeah, they could have had themselves, the quickest 10-second drive to get James Troll back out for a field goal. But I think Carolina's going to settle into this half here, content with the Banks catch. Oh, they're going to get the playoff.
Going to get the playoff and another bang play. But this Washington defense, this secondary has these receivers in a straitjacket here in this second quarter, Brett.
Yeah, it's been tough for them, and it's definitely Carolina that needs to make adjustments so that those bang plays go to their end. 10-7 at halftime, Eddie.
10-7 at the half, Brett. Brett, both these two teams definitely for a win here. What do you think these two teams need to do to secure a win here tonight? It's a tough ball game. It can still go either way.
I think that Washington has kind of found their bread and butter by getting that rush game going first, which has opened up that pass game, which has really helped them move down the field in the form of 172 offensive yards in the first half. I think the main issue that we're getting out of it is that the results aren't coming, and that second quarter was really tough for them on third down. Just 1 of 5 on third down conversions. They need to get those turning from third downs into first downs, continue that momentum, keep possession of the football so Carolina doesn't have a chance coming back. As for the Skyhawks, I think it's just, again, building up that passing game, because we're starting to see glimpses of brilliance out of it. Dynasty, kind of struggling a bit, 7 of 18 for 86 yards, but there is those moments where Dynasty looks like his prime Atlanta self.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about his lack of attempts, giving his offense a chance, and here he is in the flat first. 38% of his passes. Washington's going to field this ball and take a knee inside the end zone here, but we got our first game break of the night. Cam, tell us what you got.
Thank you, Eddie. Wild one in D.C., the only SFL undefeated team. The D.C. Dragons have thrown 2 picks in the first half. Joshua Dirt takes that away. The Samurai up 14-3 late in the second quarter, but Scar Patterson just got hurt. Back to you.
Oh, wow. Heartbreaker there. Split twins look here for Washington. On first down, going to pick up about a yard as Dwayne Salmons tackled and brought down.
I'll very quickly go back to that Sin City game. That's the second time that Scar Patterson's been hurt, and in a key moment where they've been up in the game as well. So that is tough for them. But going back to this Washington game, the momentum starts with that run game, and they only got 1 yard.
Only 1 yard. They're going to keep it on the ground here again. Picks up a gain of about 3 yards, they say it is.
Are you sure?
Yeah, going to set up a 3rd and 6. Going back to that game, I was talking to Destro in the middle of the week, and he was telling me they were struggling. He says, Eddie, we hadn't won a sim yet in practice, so perhaps a sign of what he saw there on the practice field. 3rd and 6, going to be a trips look here for Washington. Tommy Utah surveys the defense, almost out of his coverage. Going to go with something else. Going to be a fake play action. All kinds of time, and finds a receiver. That's Cooper. Gonna set up a first down at about the 45-yard line.
I love that play action rollout play because there's always going to be a guy that is just open enough down that middle of the field. Again, that post play that just works so well sometimes, especially when you have receivers that kind of muddy up that left side and have, you know, zones guessing where players are going to go. It just gets one of those guys open.
Split twin scenes look a lot tonight for Washington. Gonna keep it on the ground here on first down and nothing doing. Carolina shutting the run game down.
And we're starting to see some old school Shravan Prasad out there being able to stop the run. Remember back in those days, the earlier Carolina days, where he would get himself, 8 or 9 tackles for loss in a game.
Split flip pro here again. Don't see many SFL teams run this formation, but they elected to do so here tonight. Going to be a 5-step drop, looking right down the middle of the field, gets the ball out and finds an open receiver for a first down. It's Dwayne Salmons running routes out of the backfield.
Yeah, another close call in terms of the first down, in my opinion, but when you have a running back that is matched up with a linebacker, that's going to be a mismatch 100%.
All day, every day, and twice on game day. First down and 10. On Carolina side of the field here at the 45-yard line. Split flip pro again. Going to be a power play out to the near side here, and going to pick up, keep chugging his legs and picks up, they say only 4 yards, Brett, but that time I thought he might have got cheated out of a yard or 2.
Yeah, and again, talking about the absolute power that Chris Dean brings to the run game, it just brings a whole different dynamic to the Trident offense, and it makes it that much tougher to stop that run game.
2 tight ends on the field, one to each side of Tommy Utah, going to hand this ball off, and Shravan Prasad for the second time gets a tackle for a gain of nothing.
I felt that in my soul, Eddie. That one was that one felt so tough. Like, I think my chest concaved a little bit.
Weak eye spread. First time we see this look tonight from Washington. Tommy Utah with a clean pocket, all day to throw. Defensive linemen all on the floor, and of course, they bring it in. I mean, you get that kind of effort from your offensive lineman, Brett, and you better produce results like that. Every defensive lineman for Carolina was on the ground trying to find their souls as this Washington offensive lineman just putting in work. Tommy Utah out there playing any, mini, miny, mo. Which receiver am I going to throw it to? He finds the receiver, King Alexander for a touchdown, and Washington is expanding on this lead.
He basically took every single word out of my mouth, but I will say this, Eddie. put that display of offensive line dominance in the Hall of Fame. Just a picture of that to show the capability of having a full offensive line doing their full duties to protect your quarterback, make sure that every progression is read and that the wide receivers can get themselves open on a long play, and Alexander does well to get the touchdown, and it's just picture perfect if I'm Washington.
No secondary can guard receivers for that long. Nice return here by Carolina. Going to be spotted at the 32-yard line is Nolan Pierce. Time for Carolina's offense to wake up, Brett. They need them.
Yeah, they need to wake up at this point. Washington struck first in the second half like they did in the first. Now Carolina needs to strike back of their own, keep things close. Now, do they do it with almost a carbon copy? Start off with the run game, see how that paces, or are they going to start slinging the rock? Because Bryant Dynasty has been a little pass happy in this game so far.
Yes, he has. They're going to come out with a triple look here. 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Rickenbacker off to his right. They've been running power out of this all night, but this is going to drop back to pass. 5-step drop, gets the ball out, and picks up about, they're going to give him a first down. It's Chase Earl on the reception.
Yeah, and then good catch from Earl as well. And we talked about how Dynasty needs to really step up. Those receivers need to be ready for those throws as well. And again, I told them the adjustments that they need to make is just catch the ball. Those ticky-tack plays, Washington's going to bring the thunder, so you got to make sure that you can secure that catch.
Cover 3 look here by Washington. Is it going to be 3 robber or cover 3? Let's see. Donnie trying to figure out it's going to be a power play out to his left. Going to pick up about 4 yards there on the carry is Wally Quintero.
Yeah, and again, still trying to keep that defense honest, trying to get that run game going as well, where, both Quintero and McBride, splitting the love, but still under 3 yards a carry, so it's been a struggle for them. Then they'll pepper him with the pass.
Cover the defense this time, it's for Scott, but Carolina picks up about 2 yards. They're going to say Tina again with the tackle. And I'm just being reminded, I have not gone over this Washington defense. Defensive lineman Rodney Panani, King McNeely, Doug Howard, and Tina McGinn, along with linebackers Nicholas Warner and Nathaniel Diggs as TJ Harper is out. The secondary, Mark Kaufman, Ryan Cook, John DeSantis, Maxwell Quimby, Kappa Jones, and safety Ira McGinn. 3rd down and 4. Can Carolina keep their offense on the field? Going to throw the ball right down the field, and a great, tough catch there by Chris Curtis.
Yeah, it was great routes as well from Curtis and Chase Earl on that left side. Dynasty had the pick of the litter in terms of where he could sling that rock to. He decides to go with Curtis, and it was the right decision. He leaps up, grabs the catch, and he secures that rock after getting hit, and that's going to be the key factor. Can the receivers hold on to the ball with Washington really bringing, their hit power to display?
Yeah, he also had Adam Banks over on the crosser too. Another pass. This is going to be our first penalty of the game. Yes, PI. I mean, it was a bang play as both players are entitled to the spot of the ball, but nonetheless, they're going to call a PI there on Washington. John DeSantis picks up the flag.
Yeah, and we'll see again. That's ticky tack, and that's pretty close. Like you could go either way with that, but the refs decide, you know what? I think there's a little bit too much physical contact. We'll give them the first down.
First down is Dynasty. You can see them there looking over the defense. Washington, they tend to have a wide variety of plays here in nickel, but they keep it simple tonight, and so far it's panned out for them. A pick of a yard is Nathaniel Diggs. Get his name called again here tonight.
And honestly, sometimes the simpler the defensive playbook, the better. If you try to throw like all these different, defensive plays out there, sometimes the wrong one can be made, and all of a sudden you're going to get burned for, 50, 60-yard touchdowns.
Draw spread. I'm not sure if Carolina has called this formation all night. They're going to send Adam Banks in motion to the far side of the field. Going to be a toss. Fooled everybody, including me, and Ike McBride picks up about 8 yards, 3rd down and 2.
And McBride did this a lot with Vancouver as she found a lot of toss plays heading her way, and she's got the power, she's got the speed, kind of that balanced running back that you love to see in the SFL, so she's capable of getting those 6-7 yard gains off tosses.
Our Jokers versus this light box here for Washington. Gonna pass it nonetheless. And oh, the ball is deflected and unfortunately unable to reel it in for Carolina. Wow, Chris Curtis wants that one back.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the short crosser was the way to go, but they went with it anyways, and it led to basically a logjam down that middle of the field area where Curtis was. And that's a tough throw to make, and that's a tough catch to make too.
Malone Brown with a 29-yard field goal. That kick is up and good. Carolina strikes back, and they are brought themselves back within a one-score game.
Yeah, and that's the most important part. You don't have to get them all back at once. So even getting the field goal and bringing it to a one-score game, it still keeps it within reach. With just over 3.5 left to go in the third, it's still a good sign for Carolina. They're not getting ran away of this game quite yet.
Malone Brown kicks this ball off to Washington. Is going to field it at about 4 yards deep into his end zone. They're going to bring this ball out, Brett. Great return and spotted at about the 25-yard line. Shane Kaufman brings it out.
Yeah, and I like that idea of returning it from the out of bounds, because you have to remember a touchback is at the 20-yard line, and more than often the average return for a return man is around that 25 to 29-yard area. So it's almost at an advantage if you return it off the end zone.
Absolutely. First down and 10 at that 25-yard line is Tommy Utah in this offense. Weak pro. First time we've seen this look tonight, I believe. Going to hand his ball off on a weak outside zone. He cuts it back inside and picks up 3 yards. Brett, it's no surprise. The VFN is live again. Please support our hard-working crew by smashing the like button, people. What are y'all waiting on? Subscribing and comment on this video. It really helps the channel out. Support the content. Turn on the notifications while you're at it so you'll never miss a live stream, highlight, or podcast. Thanks for your support of the Virtual Football Network on the SFL. And wow, that pass is caught in. Are you kidding me, Brett? I'm trying to find a low in the action, and here, excuse me, Washington, I'm sorry. I apologize. Great reception there by Washington to pick up a big first down there. Phil Koss with the grab.
Washington offensive line, I apologize. I did not know how much good work you have done so far today. Again, clean pocket for Utah. No sense of desperation or hesitation from Utah. He just stayed calm in the pocket. His offensive line kept him clean. My goodness.
Wayne Samuels in this running game has had their struggles today, but they've been picked up by the passing game. Pick up a 3.
Yeah, and they're going to be okay with that, especially with Tommy Utah having a QBR currently of 108.4, and a lot of it, again, support from the offensive line, but he ultimately throws that football, and he's thrown it pretty well, 12 of 21.
Throwing darts out here when he does complete the pass. It's going to be another pickup, keep it on the ground. This time it's Christopher Dean. Gain of 4 yards, going to set up a 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, almost getting into James Troll range. Maybe you could say it now, because this would end up being about a 46-yarder if they stay that way. So they could be, comfortable with running this ball on 3rd down.
Weak out Jokers, 2 tight ends on the field. Going to be a dive right up the gut, and he's going to be short. Going to set up a 4th down and 1. Carolina going to force a field goal attempt.
Yeah, it's going to be a deep one. It's not a guarantee, and we have seen the wind play a little bit of an effect of the field goal as well. Off the left hash from 43 yards, it'll be an interesting kick for sure.
Well, he's a right-footed kicker on the left hash. Exactly where he wants it at. This ball is up, underway, and right down the middle. Brett drills it. James Trill.
Yeah, no sense of hesitation on that kick. He felt pretty confident on that, and it just drilled it. Didn't have to worry about the commentator cursive saying maybe he won't hit it, because that was more sure than my past dates saying that they never want to see me again.
Washington going to kick this ball off, and this time it's deep in the end zone. Going to be down. Going to set up a 1st down at the 20-yard line for Carolina, looking to bit off the momentum they built off of that last drive, Brett.
Yeah, and in this one, now that Washington has responded with a field goal of their own and has now gotten 300 yards of offensive action. Carolina needs to respond in their own way.
Going to go empty here again. Washington doing a great job of defending here tonight. Combo inside zone out of this 4-2 defense. They're going to press the receiver at the bottom, goes up top and completes it for about 6 yards. Great job there by Dynasty, seeing his primary read wasn't open.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see out of your quarterback that has struggled this season is, you can't find that main option, find the second one, find the third one, find the fourth one if you need to, just to get that forward momentum. Washington
Leading Carolina by 126 yards on offense. Looking to change that here, starting with this drive, but they're going to go with the power play again out to the far side of the field. Picks up about 7 yards when it looked like it would be bottled up for a gain of nothing. First down, Carolina.
And again, we've seen that from Quintero for a couple seasons now, where he's got that capability of just dragging defenders along with him just to get that first down. So you got to be careful. Quintero's not just that finesse back; he's got some power into him as well.
Absolutely. First down and 10, Carolina. As we said, looking to build off the momentum from that last drive. Doubles look, seen this quite a number of times here tonight. Dynasty 5-step drop, throws it down the field, and that ball is almost intercepted. Nathaniel Diggs, former Scorpion, showing his versatility. He showed it earlier, stopping the run game. This time he's out in pass coverage, batting balls away.
Almost like a cover flat area that Diggs was on, and he just had his hands right where it needed to be. Didn't focus on the interception, was just worried about making that pass incomplete.
Another pass down the middle, and wow, this time, it's picked up off the deflection. Are you kidding me? Brett, wow, we've seen it all tonight. Nicholas Warner batted it away. Washington's defense comes and picks him up and gets him off the field with the tip drill.
I got to take a look at this because it hit two different hands. Kappa Jones, then it was Nicholas Warner, and then Quimby, right place, just absolutely scooping his hands underneath, getting hold of that football, and this could be the momentum shifter. If Washington score off this turnover, this could spell potential doom for Carolina.
Yeah, as they say, Mahada in motion. Manned up against the linebacker, that's a mismatch, but they're going to hand the ball off right up the gut, and Sammons picks up 4.
And again, going back to the run game, seeing how that will establish the drive, and if they keep moving forward in a good pace, that 4, 5, 6 yard pace, they keep going with the run. If it doesn't, they go to the pass.
On Carolina side of the 50, as this third quarter comes to a close, split twins look, will they snap this ball? They do. Going to hand it off, and Christopher Dean goes nowhere. He may have lost half a yard. Trevon Prasad with another tackle.
Yeah, they're going to end the quarter on a loss by Trevon Prasad. Great work.
Put up your fours, ladies and gentlemen. Washington up by 10. Washington with this ball, Brett, probably going to look to play bully ball here to close out this game. Just trying to keep that clock ticking, but excuse what I just said, they're going to come out in a trip set. 3 receivers near the bottom. Tommy Utah reading this 4-1 dime. Going to be play action. Throwing the ball right down the field. And that ball is somehow caught. Are you kidding me? King Alexander catching that ball in traffic.
It just seems like the football gods are leaning towards Washington, at least in these last 2 or 3 minutes, because that looked to be a deflection. Clear cut for the hand of Danny Stinson, but it's just ever so slightly misses him, and it goes right into the breadbasket of King Alexander, and one of the best catches of the night.
Absolutely, split spread look here. They've been running the ball at the A-gap out of this play all night. This kind of going to toss, however, and look at that shove. The former Nightwing showing everybody in Washington why they brought him here and paid him all that money. He picks up 3.
Yeah, he's been the main proponent of the carries tonight and really showing his worth. The numbers aren't really showing it, just 54 yards on 20 carries, but he's had those, spurts, those moments where you just say, yep, that's why they signed him.
Christopher Dean with a dive up the middle, picks up what they say 4 yards. And this time I think the side judge was this time against Washington. I thought that might have been 3rd and 1.
Oh, it makes it a little bit tougher, 3rd and 2, but I think Washington is kind of okay in this situation. We might see a 3rd straight run here.
I think so. Our Joker set. Carolina man defense again, going to be a give out to the near side here, and Dwayne Simmons runs a man over before Ray Colston brings him down.
Yeah, it's just wide open space off that stretch run, that off tackle run. Nobody around the vicinity, even of the main blocker that was, giving Simmons an entourage. Just an easy 1st down.
Twins look here for Washington. Haven't seen this look many times tonight. You're going to send a man in motion. That's Johan Sutherland. Man defense by Carolina. Going to be a give out to the near side. Nothing doing as Christopher Dean picks up about 3 yards.
Yeah, and Carolina's going to probably bring up the temperature of their defense coming into these goal situations. Carolina's done really well with their goal line defense, especially once you get inside the 5.
We got Joker's man-to-man defense again. Going to give a ball out to the far side of the field, and Dwayne Simmons picks up about 4 yards. Going to set up a 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, at the 4-yard line. Sorry, they're going to mark it at the 3-yard line, and it's still a little bit tough. Let's see how many Carolina bring to the box on this 3rd and goal.
Carolina cannot afford to give up a touchdown with 7+ minutes left in this ball game. Can that defense hold them to 3 or get a turnover? Going to send a man in motion. It's going to be goal line defense, man-to-man. They are bringing pressure. Going to be a give right up the gut, and Christopher Dean just ran over 2 bodies, looked at him as they hit the turf, gave him a look of shame. Washington extends the lead.
Yeah, and that might be the touchdown that just puts another nail in this coffin for Carolina with the pace that this game has been. And really, Washington did a masterful job of just grinding this game down to a glacial pace and getting it to really how they want it to be, and just move down the field how they want to, get around 4 or so minutes off that clock left, and now have extended this lead to 17 pending the extra point.
Extra point is up and good. James Crow drills it right down the middle as his holder, the punky QB known as McMahon, comes out of retirement to kick to hold the ball for him. Carolina, you can see the disarray, and it's a shame because I was looking at these 2 teams, and Carolina, yes, they aren't doing so well, but they've had the third toughest schedule in the SFL this season. Kick is underway and gonna be fielded, taking a knee inside the end zone. Gonna set up a 1st down at the 20-yard line. As you see the disparity there of total yards in favor of Washington. Gonna go with this triple look here. Tight end off to Dynasty's right. Gonna be a power play out to the right side. Had success with this play today and gonna pick up about 6 yards by Quintero, set up a 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, and at this point, down 17, Eddie, I'm not sure if you want to start with a run on the drive. You've got to catch up. You got to get these points as quickly as you can. Time is of the essence.
Just under 7 minutes left in this 4th quarter. Our Jokers look versus this 4-3 defense. Going to hand the ball off right up the gut. But guess who? Nathaniel Diggs with yet another tackle. He's having himself a ball game here tonight. That's his 8th tackle.
Yeah, and it's making Carolina's run game, regret seeing a red jersey with the last name Diggs on it, because it has been a struggle anytime they try to go up the gut.
Power play out to the near side, cuts it back inside, nowhere to go. It's Nathaniel Diggs. I'm telling you, he is just looking good out here tonight.
And this is just so confusing. If you're Carolina, you go run, and you're down 17. And now you're basically putting this football away on a 3 and out. What's going on?
Not sure, but he had 25 pass attempts coming into this drive. And again, like you said, down big here in the 4th, and they run 3 straight times and unsuccessful, picking up a single 1st down.
And now Washington with this prime opportunity to really seal things, if you don't think it's sealed already, with a 17-point lead. If they even get any points on the board, I would call this ball game.
This is the offensive lineman's favorite time of the ball game. You're up big, and now you just get to beat up on tired defensive linemen, just run the ball. Punishing his tired defense. Weak twins look going to be a stretch outside. Salmons picks up, about 6 yards on the carry. You can tell that this Carolina defense is fatigued, Brett.
Yeah, it's really starting to show the fumes that are coming out of the shoulders and the heads of the defensive players. Like, they're trying to push forward, but the offensive line, even the receivers, are starting to get an upper hand.
Our Jokers look here out unabated for about 5 yards before first contact is made. Christopher Dean picks up another first down.
Yeah, and right now it's going to be, grind it out, run city moving forward for Washington, as they're going to look to chew up this clock, make it so that Carolina has no chance to come back.
The way this game has gone, you would think that Washington has dominated first downs game. But they only lead Carolina starting this drive here by 3 in that regard. Brassard with another tackle. Look at those. He got some big shoulder pads, Brett.
Yeah, those are massive on him, and it's maybe trying to cover, those big muscles that don't want to get, bruised or any of that sort. But, sometimes it's just that intimidation factor as well if you have someone with big shoulder pads just breathing in front of you.
Going to run the ball again here before being tackled from behind as Dwayne Salmons going to set up a 3rd down and 4. Brett, if it was up to you, if you could choose a city, where would you want the SFL convention next year being hosted?
Boy, there's a lot of options. You could go with, you and I have talked about Chicago for a little while, so that you can give me a tour around Chicago.
Yes.
If I had any choice, I'd try to see if we could go to Toronto in any sort and see if we can get anybody north of the border. I know that passports and stuff like that would be difficult. It would be easier for me to go down to the States, but I would say anywhere north, really.
I haven't been to Toronto, but a buddy of mine who has, they tell me it's a beautiful city.
It is beautiful, especially once you get into that late springtime, especially when the leaves come out of the trees and everything like that. It is a beautiful sight to see.
I've heard great stories about that city. Just north of New York. How far is it? What do you think is it a drive from New York to Toronto?
Well, it depends on which way you get there, but I would say, I don't know. It depends on the border crossing as well, but I'd have to guess 10 hours.
That far? Oh, wow.
Because there's, I would say if you're going around through, man, I'm just trying to think. If you go the Pennsylvania route, then it's going to be a little bit longer. But if you go through Buffalo into Hamilton, then you could probably cut 2 hours off your drive. So I would say maybe 8 hours if you have a lead foot.
It looks so close on the map, though, Brett. I didn't think it was that far away.
We also got to think of traffic in the major cities, too.
Yeah, that's true, too. But 10 hours, I did not expect that. Our Jokers look here. 25-yard line of Carolina. Dwayne Salmons picks up the first down. Ooh. Gets a little cute and get tackled, but nonetheless picks up the first.
Yeah, and we're seeing it right now. Washington just, chewing up this clock, really, having their way with this tired Carolina defense. And this run game has really stepped up in this 4th quarter and has made, not only Utah's life easy, but the offensive line's life easy once they go through those gaps.
Oh, yeah, they loving this right now. It's their dream to beat up on tired defensive linemen. Weak out Jokers. Milking the clock, making it all the way down, going to hand up the ball to Christopher Dean, who picks up a generous 4 yards. Brett, I would love it if the convention was actually Chicago. The first thing I would do when I land, if I land at O'Hare, I'm going to pick up my rental car and drive right down to Beggar's Pizza. It's about a 20-minute drive to the west side of Chicago. If you hit the lights just right, oh my gosh, some of the most delicious pizza in the world.
And some people have been telling me that Chicago-style pizza is the best pizza, so I got to try it out.
The best. I don't like the deep dish, Brett, but man, you kidding me? Delicious. Split jokers look here. Carolina stacking the box a bit. Gonna give me a give right up the middle. Picks up about 3 yards of a 3rd down and 3, and Carolina's calling timeouts.
Yeah, if you had to have your dream pizza, what toppings would you put on there, Eddie?
Now, see, Brett, I'm a plain guy. You know,
Okay.
everyone in Chicago, they like to put all the toppings on there. No, just give me sausage or Italian sausage, and I tell them every time, yo, don't be stingy with the meat, dude. I need extra.
I can respect that, though.
Dude, I love me a good Italian sausage pizza. Oh, you kidding, dude? Now I'm over here salivating just thinking about it right now.
We got to focus on the game. It's not quite over yet.
It's not quite over yet. 4th down. Carolina just burns the timeout. Gonna go for a chip shot field goal here is James Troll, padding the numbers here tonight. Ball is up underway and gets inside the left right. 30-10, Washington.
That was almost a miss, too. I was kind of scared for a second because that veered left, but he played the wind just right and went off the left post. So you got to count your blessings. But, man, seeing that 30-10 score makes me think of last season when Mexico City beat us 30-10. But let's just say Vancouver got their revenge.
Yes, they did in a major way last night. Their offense put up 28 points before halftime. Kind of got shut down a bit in the second half, but the damage was done. 35-0. They win that one. Bringing this ball out is Adam Banks. Why not? Tackled at about the 27-yard line. 1:42 left in this ball game. Carolina looking to save face and try to put up some more points on the board, Brett.
Yeah, and really, I'd like to see this pass game come into action because really down 20, $1:42 left. Like you said, it's not a great chance to, come back and win this game. But if you can get that pass game going, show that you're improving compared to week 1, week 2, week 3, in those early parts of the season where we were doubting that Carolina would even pass at all. Like that, we got to see those improvements, right?
Absolutely. Triples look here, and they find Chase Earl for a 1st down. What was that at earlier? Skinny post picks up the 1st.
Yeah, plenty of space as well. It didn't seem like Washington was really worried about the mid coverage. They were more so worried about that deep coverage, and really paid to Earl's dividend there.
Gonna go empty here. 5 yards short of 50. Brian Dynasty surveys, gets it right down the middle, and there's a flag.
Ooh.
Now, that was an obvious PI there, Brett.
Yeah, that one was a little bit more. When you have a bigger body in linebacker form, or this would be a bigger safety, I guess you could say. But it's almost a little bit more obvious when there's some, pushing around, and that one was clear cut.
Yeah, Ryan Cook draws the flag there. Going to set up a 1st down here for Carolina. Spot fouls going to be marked at the 48-yard line of Washington.
Plays cornerback, but a body of a linebacker.
Trips look here. Brian Dynasty's jersey is still clean as it was when the game first started. 5-step drop, gets the ball out quick, gets it out, and can he get out of bounds? No, he cannot. Got to get back up and spot this ball. On the ball is what Dynasty is yelling. 5-step drop, gets the ball out quick again. That ball is batted away. Looking for Adam Banks, but Washington was having nothing to do with that. Kaufman with the deflection.
Yeah, that one was a little bit tough because there were linemen kind of lying in wait just to see where that ball was being thrown, and that's the dangers of having an overloaded side with receivers. So the linebackers can kind of veer to that side and kind of just lie in wait.
Going to send Chase Earl in motion. Dynasty, 5-step drop, gets the ball out quick as he's hit, and somehow that ball is completed to Chris Curtis. On the ball, he's yelling, 29-yard line. Be a quick 3-step drop this time. Finds a receiver, but unable to hold on to it. It's a bang play. Again, Nolan Pierce unable to bring in the ball. This Washington secondary better get a game ball, Brett.
Yeah, it seems like every secondary player has really gotten involved in these ticky-tack plays. Let's talk about John DeSantis. We haven't talked about him in a while. Ticky-tack play. He was the hit. He was the guy that got the ball loose on that hit.
Empty again. 5-step drop right down the middle. He finds his running back there, Raleigh Quintero. On the ball, he's yelling. Spotted at the 14-yard line. Running up, does he spike it? He does. So he's going to regroup, allow his guys to catch their collective breaths. 50 seconds left in this contest. Dynasty.
You almost ask yourself, where was this in the third quarter, where it feels like they struggled to get that ball down the field? But now it's starting to come alive here with 50 seconds left, down 20.
Man-to-man defense versus this empty look. 5 wide receivers. 5-step drop. Good protection. Gets the ball out, and that ball is batted away and almost intercepted there. John DeSantis, you just talked about him. You broke his name up, makes the play.
Yeah, now DeSantis is saying, well, I've been here this whole game. Let me show you how it's done. And he deflects a pass again, almost getting the interception.
Carolina 4 of 11 on third down. Third and long, so it's not going to get any easier. Trips look again. Going to send Chase Earl in motion. He's going to be picked up by a safety. That's a mismatch. Hopefully they look for him. 5-step drop. Gets the ball out to the other side of the field, and that ball is batted away. And feel like a missed opportunity there, Brett, because I thought that he had Nolan Pierce open there for a catch in the end zone.
Yeah, but to give credit to Dynasty, Banks was open. He just didn't throw a good pass. It was almost right in the hands of Mark Kaufman.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't want to say that, but you kind of did for us. 4th down. Crowds, they want to preserve this 10 points allowed. You can tell they're up and yelling defense, make a play. 5-step drop, gets the ball out quick. That's not going to get the job done.
Wow.
And that's going to end the chances of any kind of scoring for Carolina on this drive. Not sure what they were thinking there.
Almost a mid-screen action, and really that ain't going to do. 4th and 10. You'd have to look deep. You cannot look short in that and hope to get, a catch and run, especially with a defense like Washington that has really been breathing down your neck since probably halfway through the second quarter.
Victory formation is Tommy Utah in this offense. Washington going to improve and get back to 500, 3-3 on the season. They had a tough schedule too, Brett. They had the second toughest schedule coming into this week.
Yeah, and they've played some stiff competition, and really this West Division doesn't have it easy, because after Washington, they've got Minnesota coming up, who just beat Detroit earlier on, and then they've got LA and Arizona on back-to-back divisional battles after the Week 11 bye week.
This game's going to come to a close, Brett. 30-10, the final in this one. Washington protects home court and made it look rather easy in the second half as they pulled away, Brett.
Yeah, and really it came down to the defense, because Carolina, they were starting to pick things up. They were starting to really get their momentum going in the first half. They found some ways, but what really killed them is that the run game just continued to stall. They couldn't, spread out that game as much as they wanted to, and Washington shut down any opportunity of points. I mean, Carolina ended up being 1 of 5 in the second half on third down conversions, whereas Washington just kept moving that ball forward, kept continuing momentum. They had the ball for 13 minutes out of the 20 in the second half. That is how you dominate the game in your own right.
Absolutely, send these fans home happy. Brett, Washington, he spoke about their schedule. Carolina on a much-needed bye, trying to right the ship for them as they move forward the rest of this season. A lot of season left to play, but that's going to do it for us, guys, here for the SFL in this Week 9 action here tonight. For myself, Brett, Jadoobie-Doo, and Dwayne in stats, Cam and the league commissioner office getting job done. Yo, Cam, appreciate everything you do. Yo, we about to get up out of here, Brett. Peace.
We out of here.